In partnership with UNICEF, has launched a handbook called the Interagency Child Protection Guidance for the Protection of the Rights of Children in the Gambia. The book is designed to support the implementation of policies and multidisciplinary act in the protection of the rights of children. This is expected to encourage effective cooperation and coordination to promote and develop good practices in the drive towards child protection. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare stated that the government of the Gambia remains committed for the responsibility and fulfillment of protecting the rights of every child in the country in every aspect of their lives.
And promoting their rights and welfare is top priority of His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J. Jammeh, and have been effectively demonstrated in this country. The protection of children and promoting their rights is a collective activity and responsibility, and I am pleased to commend this multidisciplinary handbook as an aid to delivering accountable, consistent, and transparent practice in protecting children in the Gambia.
There is a growing interest across the sub-region in applying the system's approach to strengthen child protection through the use of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. This marked a significant milestone in efforts geared towards the protection of children from any form of discrimination or abuse.
This involves a lot of cooperation and coordination, and this handbook provides a very, very strong framework with which we can all know the roles of each agency, know the role of how we are going to act in the best interest of the children facing all the different forms of child abuse.
The launching of this book will avail working partners the opportunity to highlight their constraints and set out necessary measures that will contribute to the development and promotion of child protection in the Gambia. Reporting for Grts News, I am Fatou Janembai.
We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas from Grts. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas from Grts.
Gabon's ruling PDG party is celebrating another landslide victory in local government elections. Despite that huge win across the country, the PDG struggled to extend its popularity to the capital city, where the ruling party is looking at forging alliances with rival parties. We have more in this report.
The victory of Gabon's PDG ruling party in local elections was nothing short of spectacular. President Ali Bongo's party took 1,517 seats out of a total of 2,404. PDG's victory in Libreville was less secure. The party would have to forge alliances. Former Prime Minister and opposition leader Jean Yegedon, who is running for mayor of the city, says that he is open to dialogue.
If the possibility of a meeting arises, I think it should be in a spirit that corresponds to a noble vision. It should be a shared ambition to run Libreville in a noble manner and in the interests of its residents. If that is the case, then we must talk to one another.
The PDG responded by saying that the door was open, but on one condition.
We are ready to cooperate with anyone, as long as they are in agreement with the policies of our party. That is to say, those sponsored by the President.
Residents in Libreville say they are happy with the outcome of the elections, which took place without violence.
It's the calm that we wanted, the peace that we wanted. Things went as they should have. Congratulations to both the winners and the losers who accepted defeat.
Municipal elections were seen as a litmus test for the presidential elections in 2016, in which President Ali Bongo is expected to stand.
Mikhail Khodorkovsky, the former head of the Yukos group and a staunch critic of Vladimir Putin, has spent his first night of freedom in Germany. Mr. Khodorkovsky was released after being pardoned by the Russian president. And the Ugandan parliament has passed a bill meant to toughen punishment for homosexuality. The anti-homosexuality law allows for punishments of life imprisonment for homosexual acts. We have more on those stories and others in this news roundup.
Khodorkovsky, the Russian ex-tycoon and unrelenting critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin, has been released from prison. He left Russia for Germany and spent his first night of freedom in Berlin. Once Russia's richest man, Mikhail Khodorkovsky, was convicted of embezzlement and money laundering. A French medical team has begun the first human trial of a prototype artificial heart. The implant operation took place Wednesday at the Georges Pompidou Hospital in Paris, and the patient is doing well. If trials are successful, artificial hearts will offer a solution to shortages of organs for transplants. Tens of thousands of people die each year because of a lack of a donor. In Spain, the Conservative government has approved legislation to tighten laws on abortion. A draft bill aims to replace the current legislation that allows a woman to have an abortion without restrictions until 14 weeks of pregnancy. A group of pro-choice campaigners are opposing the move. If the bill passes, abortion will be allowed only in cases of rape or threat to the mother's health. Uganda's parliament has passed a bill to toughen punishment for homosexuality. The law punishes some homosexual acts with sentences to life imprisonment. The anti-homosexuality bill also makes it a crime not to report gay people. The Prime Minister opposed the vote, saying that not enough MPs were present.
He was laid to rest a week ago, but the memories left behind by the former South African President Nelson Mandela lives on. The late Mandela spent more than 27 years on Robben Island, and there he met a white warden who describes the late icon as a man of impeccable character. This is our story, or this is his story rather.
Thought about Philippe Deprey's place in South African history until now, it is because they believed him dead. 70-year-old Philippe Deprey was a prison guard on Robben Island who grew close to Nelson Mandela.
You're going to talk English or Xhosa?
The prison authorities sent him to listen to Nelson Mandela's conversations in Xhosa, a language he knew well since he came from the Transkei. But Nelson Mandela caught on very quickly.
After I've worked there for quite a while with them, I asked him, Nelson, why, if I approach you people, you always switched over to English, speaking English, and not Xhosa? He said to me, Mr. Deprey, remember the time when you started here? I asked you, where did you come from? So you said the Transkei, and immediately I knew that you were conversant in the language.
From 1977 to 1982, Philippe Deprey's office was just opposite Nelson Mandela's cell. And over the years, a bond grew between the prison guard and the prisoner.
Mr. Mandela had his little garden. Every morning when I used to report for duty, first thing he would have asked is, Sergeant, how is the kids? How are the kids? How is the wife? Every morning, you wanted to know how are they keeping. And that's where I saw now that this is not a bad old man to work with.
The former jailer has kept a number of mementos, including a copy of the key to Nelson Mandela's cell, as well as his serial number. He remembers how Nelson Mandela encouraged him to study.
In 1980, I wrote my matric, and he was quite pleased. And remember the warrant examination that I passed, he was very, very glad about it. He was really impressed. You know, one day you walk in as a sergeant, and next day I walked in as a warrant. He said, "Oh, Mr. Deprey, you are promoted." And it's quite a thing.
Philippe Deprey never misses a program about Nelson Mandela. He remembers him as a prisoner who was calm and composed.
Never seen that. The time I worked with him, that he were annoyed about something, or he lost his temper or something. It was always the same Nelson. Always the same Nelson. And that inspired me.